guest than my guest today, director Laz Lyson and Master P. And you all are here with a new movie. It's a romantic comedy called Ever and Again. First of all, can I say thank you for doing a romantic comedy?
Yeah, you know what? And I think a lot of people, they haven't seen me on this side of the table when we talk about making movies. But don't be afraid to change and grow and get better. And I mean, it's that time. Like you say, it's Valentine's Day week. And this movie's coming out February 11th. So this is gonna be good for us as a culture, and to be able to executive produce this with my son Romeo, and to have a great director like we have, and making movies for us and owned by us and creating content by us is important.
All of that. Well, I want to ask you, Laz, about what makes the perfect romantic comedy. But first, I'm going to run a clip so we can see the clip, and then we'll get into this in just a second. Okay, let me go ahead and run this.
Could you please not take that?
I gotta take it.
I am really trying here, Robert.
It's work, baby.
Are you gonna tell her?
I don't know.
I can't do this thing.
Damn, Jasmine, what is with all these questions?
I can't.
My brothers and sisters, today our text, Luke chapter 15, points at a love that never gets cold.
Holy Spirit,
I never meant to hurt her. I'm sorry. She's not coming back. Jasmine?
Kevin?
Wow.
Long time.
out of all the girls at your school, why me?
You're unique.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. Find God, Chelsea.
She needed you, and you missed the chance to be there for her.
Sorry.
Sorry?
Come on, bro, this is a dog.
After all these years, that's all you got to say is sorry? Kev, I thought you had my back.
It's like something about her. I don't know what it is, but I just hope I run into her again.
Look, when I give me a girl, man, I'm gonna pull me somebody just like that.
It's only been 9 months. And no sex?
How's that going?
Gosh, I was sitting here thinking the same thing. What's up?
Not good.
Well, give it up. She's out of your league.
Making me feel a whole lot worse.
That's what I'm here for, man.
Yeah, you asshole. Look, Mama, you just don't understand.
What are you talking about, boy? She's a married woman. You're not in high school. This is now a dangerous game you're playing.
When you say it like that, you make it sound like I was making my round.
What do you do? Throw you to the curb?
Well, somebody's got to talk some sense into you.
God, don't provoke ugly. What you're doing is wrong.
It's called accepting reality. Gotta stop living in the past. Gotta go.
That was a lot.
Yes.
A lot. So I was asking before the trailer, Laz, what ingredients goes into making the perfect romantic comedy? Because you got a lot of heavy, topics in there, but how do you work to make it still fun and light, even though, life and love is heavy sometimes?
I think that comes down to like casting, because when you're casting a movie, you're basically getting the best actors. No human is ever one-dimensional. So that's why we put so much emphasis on trying to cast the right people. That way they can make each character three-dimensional. And like I say, when you see this movie, I mean, even though it's dealing with certain elements sometimes that gets intense, but because we are all three-dimensional, it's humans are so complex,
right?
You see the fun side, you see the loving side, and and then it gets, so by the time it gets serious, it's kind of taking you on that journey where you never feel like it's just too much for you.
Right. Well, speaking of the cast, you have some heavy hitters. You have Ella Joyce and Christian Keys, Becky Long, but you also have the Miller family. You got Master P, your daughter Symphony joins you in this film as well, and of course Romeo. Talk about working and making it an entire family affair and how that was.
Well,
it was like Romeo, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, with me and Romeo, you know, we're not only family, but we're business partners. To executive produce this project is incredible, and have Symphonique in this movie. I mean, it's family with us all day, and I think that's what this about, showing that how families could work together, we could grow together, and like this movie, we could get through anything together.
Mhm. I love that. So we want to get into asking you about, because I see the products that I definitely want to ask you about. But for both of you, Romeo has a quote that this movie is about romance, but it's also about a lot of faith. This is Valentine's Day. We know that everything operates. The most powerful thing that we have is love. So can you give us some advice? I'll start with you, Laz. Give us some advice. People are looking at relationships and talking about love all month long. So looking at a movie like this, what advice would you have for people that may be struggling with that part of their life right now as they go into this, Valentine's Day and this season?
Well, I always say, like, oftentimes people feel like it's a curse when you're single. Some people jump from relationship to relationship, and then they end up making the same mistakes over and over again. One thing I learned before I got married, I went through a period where when I was younger, I was dating similar type of girls.
Right.
And then before I met my wife, I went through a 2-year hiatus. And during that time, I learned more about myself. And I think that's the key to relationships. Being single sometimes can allow you to deal with yourself.
Right.
That way you can actually make better choices or get away from people that you don't want to, that don't bring bring any good into your life. So single ain't always a bad thing. And then when you have in a relationship, try to bring the best out of each other.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Mine.
A lot of people are single and unhappy, so I think that's some good wisdom there from our director. Master P, what about you? What advice can you give us with romance before we get into the other stuff?
Yeah, I think you gotta love yourself first and make yourself happy. A lot of people think somebody else got to make them happy. You got to make yourself happy first and have somebody add to your happiness. And you got to be open to be thoughtful for somebody else. And communication is key. A lot of people get into relationships and don't know how to communicate.
Right.
So to make a relationship last, I think you're gonna have to be able to communicate with your significant other. And like I said, stop searching for love. Let it happen. Just like Laz said, it's like in this movie, when you go trying to make the perfect person, nobody can make the perfect person, because none of us perfect. Right. And we just gotta be able to have good understanding and be able to be humble, because life is too short. Most people don't appreciate what they have till they lose it.
That's true. That's very true. What would you say the overall message? What do you want people to leave with after when they see this movie on? Hopefully everyone will tune in on February 11th on BET Plus. Last, what's the message of Never Say?
I always say this is a coming of age film. It's about growth and redemption and love, and hopefully what the message I want people to leave from this movie is never be afraid to grow. Never be afraid to learn. No one ever knows anything. It's okay to say I'm sorry. It's okay. It's not, you're not being less than a man by telling another person, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. And I think to me, that's what I take away. It's a human movie on so many different levels, but it's about growth.
That's beautiful. I'll let you guys have a little gospel. It's so many different elements in this film. You could see just from the collaborations that you guys have put together for it. Master P, what do you want people to get from this film?
Well, my thing is, just like Laz said, we got to be conscious of others and know that you can't buy love and respect. You have to earn it.
That's very true. Well, I have to ask you, like I said, it's Black History Month in addition to Valentine's Day. So I got to ask you, because you are one of the voices that I think is just is a leader and inspiration for our community. And so I see the products there. I had a chance to listen to your interview on the Breakfast Club. And one of the things that stood out to me the most was that you said, as working on this sneaker deal, if Reebok or another company doesn't get on board, it's their loss. And I love that, teaching us that for so long we've been taught that we have to fit ourselves into their spaces. But you're saying no, they need to get on board with us, or we have other options, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, when you look at us, we have to be producers instead of consumers. We spend over $1 trillion. I'm talking about just with the African American culture, and we don't understand our power. And what I'm doing, when I've created these products, if you look at the Uncle P pancakes, you had Aunt Jemima. Aunt Jemima was a marketer of us. We thought that we was buying in the product with people that look like us. This been out over 130 years. I'm saying the more we make, the more we give. And this is actual people that look like us that are making products that we can put money back into the community, and we able to lessen the crime in the poverty in our community. It's us helping us. It's all about dealing with people that want to hand up and then a hand out, creating other bosses. I don't want this just to be me and my product, where you see the Hootie Hoo cereals. They have catalogs, and Kellogg's got all different kind of products. So when you see this, you see that we have all kind of products too. I mean, we've been eating these products for years, and they've been making billions of dollars off us, but we never thought of ownership. And how do we change the narrative? It's through economic empowerment. So that's what I want to do. And I wanted to be thousands of Master P's in them stores, in them grocery stores, and us creating products. So I think that's what it's about.
I can say that, we had a tumultuous 2020, and, a lot of people were upset about what was going on politically. Most of us were upset about what was going on politically. People were talking about stimulus checks. And whenever I would go to social media, you would see other people complaining, crying about this. You were promoting Hootie Hoo cereal. I love that. It's like, I'm not waiting on a stimulus check.
No. I'm going out. What? I want others. I've created a show called Master P Reviews, and it's celebrating other small business entrepreneurs with their product, because I want to be thousands of us at the table. I don't want it just to be me. And I think that's the way we create this whole economic empowerment as a whole, as we stronger together. And when you look at it, it's not many of us that we could say that's able to control that narrative, because we don't own anything. And everybody can't be the boss, but everybody can play their role if you got a great team.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, taking that into consideration, we know that there are a lot of people out there that are watching, that listening. I want to ask both of you guys, because I know, Laz, you've had a long career doing what you're doing. Doing what you do is not easy. That's, that industry is one that a lot of people want to be in. What advice would you give to someone that's sitting at home? And we know that it takes a lot of consistency. Master P is constantly, its success is consistency, but it also comes with failure and disappointment. So Laz, I'm going to first start with you. How do you, what's your advice for someone that's dealing with those setbacks, but knows that they need to be consistent, but is having trouble dealing with that?
I always say not only consistency, but growth in the process, like consistency and being willing to like, I always look at it like people always use Thomas Edison. They said Thomas Edison, the whole thing, he failed 10,000 times before he launched the light bulb. But if Thomas Edison, when he was quote unquote failing, if he looked at it like he was failing, he probably would have quit. But what he was doing was learning different, okay, that didn't work that way, so let me try this way. That didn't work that way. So for him, just like with everything, it's about constant growth. Like, what can I take away from this situation? And being in Hollywood, and just like with anything, I've done a lot of projects, but if I looked at it like, okay, if this project over here didn't make money, is it a failure? Or do I look at it like, do I need to learn more about how to learn the different ways and the different actors you need to have, the different people you need to be on your team? How can I become better as a filmmaker? How can I become better at this? And I think that's the key like I always look at it like if you ever quit something, that means that you weren't that passionate about it in the first place. So I never looked at, with all the setbacks I've had, I've never looked at the fact of quitting because I wanted it too bad within my soul, you know?
Master P, I'm going to ask you to elaborate a little bit on that, but you're talking to people that when you're talking about ownership, the average man at home, maybe he's making 40 something thousand a year, taking care of his family. He doesn't really see an opportunity for him. What advice would you have for the everyday man out there working or woman out there working that doesn't have those financial opportunities, the investors that someone else may have, but still believe in your vision and teaching of leadership and ownership?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, ownership is not for everybody. If you can't own the company, go find a great team and be a part of it. It's like having a car. It's an engine, it's a starter, it's a battery. Play your role. But I think, a lot of people think that they can't do it because they don't have the money. So success is not about money. It's about wisdom and education. You have to educate yourself to what you believe in and find your purpose. So if you look at it, once you find your purpose, it's not about the money. All other pieces will come together if you really believe in something. And the one thing I say why consistency is so important, because if you constantly do something and you believe in it, you're going to get better. You're going to get better results. If you do nothing, you'll never get to your dream and your goal. And so I think the most important thing that somebody has to realize is this my purpose. Because if it's your purpose, you're going to keep going. If it's not your purpose, when you think you feel, like I said, you got to feel forward. We don't feel backwards. We feel so many times. I done feel so many times at everything that I done. When I first came out with the noodles, people say, well, I don't like the taste of it. I said, okay, you got to trust the process. I got to get better. Let me go work on my seasoning. Let me add a little more. Let me figure out what I got to do. We have to get in the game. We let people take us out the game, and we let ourselves take us out the game because we constantly tell ourselves no, that we can't do so. So I'm saying sometimes you got to tell yourself to just shut up. Shut up and go do what you got to do. It's not about how much money you have. A lot of these other cultures that built great business that had no money, they went and found the right partners. And so I think that's what we have to educate ourselves, because we don't pray for money. We pray for wisdom. And I feel like if you have the wisdom, all the other pieces will come to you. You just got to have something that you love and you're passionate about, because that's what's going to get you to your dreams and your goals. If you're doing something just for money, you'll never win. All this is a temporary success. We can't take this with us. But if your passion and your purpose will drive you to your destination, and that's how you get the victory.
Absolutely.
You talked about the need for people to, of course, there's a need for people to see themselves as owners, but then also once people get to that level, how can you teach people that it is in their best interest to reach down and help others as well? Because I think we've been told as our culture to be crabs in a barrel and not to help each other. You very much differently than that. And I know that that's not our true nature, but that's probably what we've been taught. So how can we start?
We got to stop by the self-hate. So a lot of people self-hate to where you see somebody on the internet, you get mad because they got something you don't have. We have to stop that. I mean, the internet is a gift and a curse. The power of social media, you got to use it for the right things. And I think if we use it celebrating the people that are doing the right things, I think that we promote all the negative stuff. So if you see a kid going to college, you see a kid trying to better themselves, that is not cool. But if you see a kid getting in trouble and doing all the negative stuff, then you promote it. So I think the media, we have to hold them accountable too, because we got to showcase and enlighten some of the African-American people that are at least trying to do the right thing. None of us perfect, but if they're trying to do the right thing, and they think education are better than our culture, then that's going to help the next generation, like, want to better themselves. So if we show everything negative, then kids watching it, we're going to keep that process going. We can't break that negative, stereotypical stuff that they look at us. Oh, we only going to be athletes and entertainers. I'm saying, okay, I started one way, but now I'm diversifying my portfolio. So guess what? I could have something around when I'm not here no more. I could pass down from generation to generation. And that's what product do. They don't teach us that. Product outweighs talent. They teach us how to run, jump, shoot. That's it. And block, but go get in a movie. So we said now, and they don't even teach us that we could own the movies that we putting out. And that's what make this movie so great, because we controlling the narrative. We own this. This is our product. And I think that's where the change comes. Like that I say, we can give more people opportunities. We can give more people look like us, even the underdogs, if they have real talent, which in Hollywood, they normally don't do that. You see the same people in the same movies all the time. Right now, we're giving people opportunity because of ownership. Without ownership, we couldn't give the people these opportunities. So this is only the beginning of many.
Well, I know that you and Romeo, as you said, you guys are business partners. You have a show on YouTube that does that for small business owners. Real quickly, I want you to explain that it's important in order to get a 10, that business owner has to have invested in themselves. Why is that so important to you to see that business owner already have invested in their product for you to want to be a part of that?
Yeah, because if I'm going to put my money into this, you have to have skin in the game yourself, and you have to believe in the product. And I think because when you're investing in a business, you're really investing into the person that created the product. So they have to show me that they love this. This is all they want to do. This is their purpose. And I think that's the difference. When you can see through it, if somebody not sincere, say, I'm just doing this to try to pay a bill. What I do is not to pay a bill. Like this might not happen till 40 years from now. Look in the Bible. Some things happen in 40 years. It don't happen overnight. They say Rome wasn't built in a day. And when I talk about consistency, I'm going to keep going. Even if you don't like my product, I believe in it. I'm going to keep going until I get it to where it needs to be. I did it in the music industry. I went from selling no records to 100 million records because I kept getting better. I kept getting better at what I was doing. The same thing in the product business, being able to put product into grocery stores. Is nobody that looked like me and James in this industry. And we want to change that narrative. And that's about, if we're going to invest in somebody, it got to be people that believe in their brands too.
Well, believing in their brands, believing in ourselves, I think this is a great time. We had a really difficult 2020. A lot of the images that we saw were hurtful. Laz, I want to ask you as a director, can you give a message to, like I said, we had a hard year, and this is the month of love. So if you were giving a message to your community for this month, after everything that we saw and that we went through last year, what would that message be as we talk about Black love and really loving each other?
It's a new beginning. It's a new beginning that we turn the page. And like I always tell people, and I say this, and Master P and other companies like Ace Entertainment, we was all talking about, you got 3 alpha males, alpha Black men here. 3 people that's individually striving for greatness, but no egos. Because we want to bring the best out of each other. I respect Master P with all my heart, just like I respect Ace Entertainment and vice versa. And we all want to bring the best out of each other. So I just say, as a coach, as a community, it's a new beginning. It's a new start. So it's about love. And I tell anybody, my Black brother, it's nothing that makes me happier than seeing another Black man win. And and that's,
I love that. And Master P, we like to give you your roses while you're here. We tried to do that last year. We did that for you last year. But I just want to say, as a Black woman watching you, I'm so encouraged, and your example is your living legacy is more than you will probably ever realize. I see you, the words that you do and the example you set are consistent. We see a lot of people that talk, but their actions don't necessarily do that. You're constantly bringing other Black men and Black women to the table, constantly giving others their just due and putting them on pedestals and platforms so that they can win as well. And so we honor you for that example and are so appreciative of the example that you're setting for us. Asking you that, what message do you have besides ownership, wisdom and education and working hard? What message of love do you want to leave with us for this is Valentine's Day week as this movie gets ready to premiere on the 11th?
Like I say, the most important thing, we've been through a lot in 2020. Appreciate your loved ones, because life is too short. but also realize that we can't change the past, but we can change the future.
Love it. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Any last minute, give us a quick out to just encourage people to make sure that they go to BET Plus on February 11th.
The movie will be out on this Thursday, February 11th. Also releasing the soundtrack on February 11th as well. It's some beautiful music. And we just, hopefully this movie is playing a small role in just moving the culture forward. Just moving the culture and leaving our mark about love. Because that's what we're about. We're about just putting out positivity, putting out not trying to benefit off drama, but bring a positive spin to it and push our people forward. So check the movie out.
I love it. Thank you all. Please do more romantic comedies. We love that. We like talking about the other stuff, but you guys, please keep doing romantic comedies. You know, women love that. So we appreciate it. I appreciate you all's time so much. Thank you so much. And we'll definitely be watching on Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. You got to honor Master P. He is such a living legend, and he continues to set an amazing example. If you don't have a chance to check out the show that he and Romeo have on YouTube, if you're a small business owner, that may be a good idea. He's investing in small businesses and highlighting those businesses. Of course, check out on February 11th, the movie with Master P, directed by Laz Leon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next Monday. This has been Crystal Jordan with your reality check. See you guys later.